up in the sky. Look, it's captivating. It's energizing. It's Eliances Heroes. Eliances is the destination for entrepreneurs, investors, CEOs, inventors, leaders, celebrities, and startups, where our heroes in business align. Now, here's your host flying in, David Cogan, founder of Eliances.
That's right, and always an exciting show where we learn from people that either entertain us, make a difference in the community. They're builders. They're people that are making things happen. And I'll tell you, today's show's like no other. We've got an incredible lineup, and thank you to the feedback that we've recently received from Adrian Paul of Highlander. Incredible interview, and not to mention too the cast of Happy Days, Potsy, Ralph Melf, and others. So check out those interviews if you haven't on our website, Eliances.com, Eliances.com. But today's show is getting great. Before I tell you who we've got coming on as our first hero, later on in the show, you're going to hear from Sherry and Shara, quantum-pathic energy method healer and trainer. Later on in the show, Sally Valencia from Trade Source, talking about so many things that can be done on trade. But let's go ahead and let's get started with our first hero. You could say that she is very well known and been in a gazillion different movies and played so many different roles. She starred opposite Leonardo DiCaprio in Django Unchained, worked with Quentin Tarantino in Kill Bill Volume 2, True Detective with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, and the list just goes on and on. Good morning to you, Laura Cayouette.
Good morning.
Oh, so excited. I mean, you have been in just so many movies. Which do you remember the most?
Oh, I'd have to say Django, mainly because I was on it the longest.
Really? Okay, and how long were you on that?
5 months.
5 months. Fantastic. What was the first movie that you did?
The first movie I did was the sequel to the Terms of Endearment movie from the 70s. And so my first movie, I was surrounded by Academy Award winners and nominees. It was amazing.
And how did you get involved into being an actress?
Oh, that's... I am not a typical story. I didn't dream of it as a kid. I didn't do the story that you normally hear. I actually went and got a master's degree in creative writing and English literature and was teaching college English and running a dress boutique and modeling on my spare time. And I was a homeowner, and I had a very normal kind of life. Well, I guess the modeling thing's not that normal, but I had a normal, tall, thin girl's life. And what is the way to share this with everyone? Because I don't share this story with everyone.
We want to hear it. That's the one we want to hear.
Well, it makes me sound weird. I was on a train ride coming back from a modeling gig in New York, and I heard a voice, and the voice said, "You're supposed to be an actor." And Rene Russo apparently has the exact same story, so I find comfort in that. But and apparently the voice said the exact same words. But I changed my entire life, moved to New York, and never looked back.
And you could reach Laura Cayouette by going to Laura, Laura, let me spell out her last name, Cayouette.com. Or, of course, we'll have the link posted on our website at Eliances.com, Eliances.com, where entrepreneurs align. Be part of the community. Again, go to Eliances.com, Eliances.com. Now, Laura, with all of these famous people that you have worked with and stuff, which one just made you just go in awe, going, I can't believe I am in the same movie and an opposite role, and talking to this incredible actor and stuff just made you go, just, ooh.
You know, honestly, the list is too long because my first scene was with Shirley MacLaine, and I am still to this day awestruck that I got to work with Shirley MacLaine. There's a lot of actors who are really terrific to watch on screen, but when you watch them work in the process, it's not as fascinating. Some of the magic is gone, and you're just dealing with the realities of filmmaking. But there's been two actors that when I was working with them, I sort of accidentally forgot I was working and just started watching the movie they were doing. And those two actors are Shirley MacLaine and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Amazing.
There was a moment in Django where he was giving a speech, and at some point I heard Quentin's voice go, "Laura," and I realized, all right, I'm in this movie. So I had to remember to act.
Now, not only are you an actress, but you're also an author. In fact,
I am.
your book, No Small Parts, An Actor's Guide to Turning Minutes into Moments and Moments into a Career, even with a foreword by Richard Dreyfuss.
Yes.
Tell us about that book.
Well, I'm very proud of that book. It came from when I was working on Django, we had a lot of downtime, and there were a lot of locals that were working on the set in some of the background parts and stuff, and they had so many questions as actors who were starting out. They had so many questions that were so easy for me to answer. And honestly, there was a book I had always been looking for my whole 20-year career. There was a book I had always been looking for that would, and I read a lot of books on acting, but I never found one that was specific about how to do this, how to do the lifestyle, how to make the decisions involved. When do you move to LA? When do you join the union? How do you get a free dress for the red carpet? Like all the practical considerations, in addition to like real life techniques to get you through an audition, standing out without sticking out, like making a great impression. And so I realized that I just needed to write that book. So after spending time listening to all those questions on set, I set about writing the book I had always looked for.
And again, you could pick up that book by going Amazon on Kindle also too, or going to Laura Cayouette, and that's LauraCayouette.com. And we're speaking here with Laura, who's been in a gazillion different movies, starred across Woody Harrelson, Matthew McConaughey, Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, and Woody and I have actually worked together a few times. There's actually been a number of actors that I've worked with more than once. Juliette Lewis is another one of those that I've worked with more than once. But there's a number of them that I've worked with more than once. And Quentin and I have worked together 4 times.
How's it like when you go to the movies with your friends and you see yourself on the screen? I mean, just what's that feeling like?
Well, I guess at some point it becomes your new normal. I would have to think back to when it first started to think of when it was unique, because now I've been doing this for half my life, so it is my adult life. So it's a normal thing to me to go to the movies and see my friends in the movies or see myself. And now when I watch the Academy Awards, I'm rooting personally for people,
Right. All right, now we got to reveal this other secret about you too.
Oh, Lord.
The mystery series that you're also writing, set in New Orleans, beginning with the Saints' historic Super Bowl victory during Mardi Gras 2010. Now, where did all this come to, and who inspired you to write this?
Well, Quentin Tarantino, from whom all good things come. I was at his house, this had to be probably 10, 12 years ago, and we were sitting by the pool, a big group of us, and we were all chatting, and he was bragging to the group about how my brain works. And at some point he said, you really ought to write a detective series, and that it would be a good annuity for me. And I didn't know what to do with that. I went home and I wrote some notes, some ideas, and put them in a box, and then never thought about it again. Well, thought about it, but never did anything with it. And then when I moved to New Orleans, I was unpacking boxes and put it away. And after I wrote my first novel, Lemonade Farm, I did a Q&A, and a bunch of people asked, what are you writing next? And I had spent 20 years writing that first novel, so I thought, nothing. I'm never writing again. What do you mean, what am I writing next?
Right.
I just finished this. And then I realized, oh, yeah, what about that detective series? Well, I still don't know how to write a detective series. And I'm not interested in solving murder mysteries. But I did finally look through that box and realize that I had written the setup for a different kind of mystery series, and that I had actually written it for New Orleans back when Quentin suggested it back in L.A. So I went ahead and started putting that together as a series.
Ah, fantastic, fantastic. All right, Laura, we got about 1 minute left here. And if you were teaching an auditorium of young, aspiring actors.
I just did this last night.
Fantastic. Okay, I want to know 2 or 3 secrets that you would share with them to be successful like you have.
Number 1, dare to fail. Dare to fail. Dare to fail. And number 2, it's not about your agent. Don't worry about your agent so much. Worry about being great at what you do. Worry about creating work for yourself. We live in a world where anybody with a phone can make a movie.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Laura, you act, write, direct, and teach. You got your inspiration from the train ride. I'm going to have to find that train and take that same ride. A hero helps people be the best they can be and never stops reaching for their own higher heights. You're a hero. Laura Cayouette can be reached at Cayouette.com. David Cogan with Eliances. And when we return, the famous Sherry and Shara quantum pathic energy method.